Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lord PeteyTV as we give you your little walkthrough here of Commander Sarkareth. Now, as you can see here, the group here is actually standing in together, and what we're ending up doing is we're ending up DPSing the boss together, and the range is staying in one location and the melee in another. The tanks are doing a swap. The melee is sticking together, trying to point the breaths away, and range is moving together to allow for minimal problems with the explosions on the ground. Now, we try to stay out of as many of the disintegration beams as possible, unless we are dropping our stacks. And same thing with the flame breath, because it works the same. And we're continuing to go back and forth and move around the boss. Now, we're trying to stay as far away as possible as we're going through this. Thanks again, everybody, for sitting here and watching us play these games. I can't tell you how much I appreciate and love you all. I'm on Twitch every single Monday through Friday at Lord PeteyTV. And also make sure, if you end up loving what we do, hitting that subscribe button here on YouTube. And then also hitting that subscribe button over or follow button over on our Twitch page. I appreciate that. So as we're continuing here, we're just going through the part one of this fight as we're dodging everything and we're doing our thing, trying to move and trying to stick together as a group. And any second here, he ends up at about 70% ish. He ends up going to phase two, and we're just going through. And you can still hear the call outs from the rest of the guys in the back. And here we're gonna transition. When this transition happens, everybody gets a debuff put on them, which is a bomb. You're going to end up being put into this other dimension. As this other dimension happens, you got to pick up as many of those little sparks on the ground, which not only give you speed, but they also give you haste when you get out. And what this does is that it also allows you to give you time to explode your bomb down in that second portion there. We try to bait the cone there, and as that happens, ads spawn. Those ads, we want to make sure that they end up getting a debuff that's going to be placed in a moment, and then we end up burning down the ads and the boss at the same time as we stick together. The raid tries to stay together as much as they can. We actually have the hunters grabbing bombs and going into into the other phase over and over and over again during this fight. As this is happening, we're also DPSing. Now, as you can see, someone got a debuff. We place that in a location and we end up dispelling it at a time frame that we feel appropriate. That way we can move out of certain situations, as you'll see in part 3 and part 2, where we're going to have problems where we're standing. Now, the range tries to stay together throughout this whole entire fight, and we try to pretty much AoE down the ads while single targeting the main ad. Now we're going to keep going here and we're going to continue through. There's another one of those debuffs. And see how it pushes us away. Now it gives us good. Now this is the part for stage 3. Now what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up having a couple of bombs go out. We go to deal with those. And then we're going to get ready for what we call a big breath here. And while that happens, we kind of try to get into a better position for ourselves. And as this position goes, everyone gets knocked back, and then they get pulled forward as if it was a suction in an airplane of some sort. Now here we try to get in a line so that when the debuff comes out, we end up having a bunch of walls there so we can be ready for the next phase so that we have a good deal of the map taken care of. Now we're going to go through this process. Now someone's going to get a black hole on them. We hope that it's going to go on somebody with a turtle or an immune. That way they can go and they can place it to take care of some of those mountain peaks that are made behind us. And then we're going to continue through. If it gets on somebody that is not a person with an immune, we just sacrifice them away from the group because it's not worth the headache of trying to soak that. So there we end up DPSing down the boss. And we pretty much go through the same process over and over and over again, where we're making sure we're interrupting ads, we're going to end up making sure we're going to get this knocked back, as we see here. Once that circle's done, we get the dispel going and we get knocked back away from the other wall that's being created, and we end up DPSing that stuff down together while interrupting and doing our thing. And we're going to continue to do this over and over and over again. There's going to be another pushback very shortly. And the wind will be coming up very soon too. There's a barrage that comes out. We make sure we push that away from the group, and then we just heal them off. Here's another wind. Try to look for where we can hide behind the barrier that we made. We end up DPSing, and we're going to continue to go through that. And as you can see, it's not too bad. Here's another black hole. We're going to take that black hole. We're going to try to take care of some of those mountain peaks. And it kind of sucked for us because it was our healer, so we waited for him to die. Then we rezzed him. And then we continued to DPS as much as we could. And we had another person with a debuff. Dealt with that. Another bomb comes out. As you can see there, we get knocked back. Now, our plan was we're going to get them down to about 5%, ignore any ads, and we're just going to DPS the boss. And as you can hear, I started frantically screaming for people to interrupt at the end of this, because that would have been the end of us if we didn't interrupt these ads. So we didn't have a knockback. We had that happen. And now we were just going straight after the boss and just trying to zerg him down, essentially. No, we were at, like, I think it's 2 or 1%. And oh my god. If those interrupts went off, we would have been toasted. But thankfully we got it. Great job, everybody.